Welcome back to our podcast where we talk about all things. It's giving beauty,
fashion,
pop culture, and a lot of kiki. I'm your pop culture baddie.
And your fashionable Scorpio.
So join us, Mommy Tiff
And Chan.
as we get feminine chaotic.
What?
It's the name of the podcast, Feminine Chaos, duh.
Oh, I see what you did there. Hi, lovers. I'm Chan.
And I'm Tiff.
And this is the Feminine Chaos Podcast.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to episode 7, which seems kind of crazy. Chan, how's your week going?
First, I would like to mention we have a live studio
Yes, excuse me.
audience.
Bow, bow, bow.
You hear them? You hear them? You hear them? Bad bitches make some noise. You got a $20 bill, put your hands up. You got a $30 bill, put your hands up. You got a $100 bill, I can't hear. Single ladies, make noise. Yes.
Oh my God.
We got the bad biddies in the building.
Yeah, and Zoo. And we got more coming.
We got more coming. No, we got the Wild and Out girls here. We got the Wild and Out girls here.
It's Wildin'.
At the family reunion, who we introducing.
Let's get into how our weeks were.
My week was good. When you guys hear this podcast,
Ooh.
I will be in Paris.
Ooh.
Bonjour, voulez-vous?
Ooh, comment tu t'appelles?
Voulez-vous? Ooh, je m'appelle Chan.
Period.
Yeah.
What's period in French?
Period. Because why Sheila texted me that, she was like, what is period in French? I said, please hold on. When I looked it up, I said, period.
Not period.
She was like, you should have never fucking told me that.
I need y'all to say that after y'all do like shit like order food. Like,
So,
they're like, oh,
period.
you want some period. I swear to God, I can't with y'all.
But I will be in Paris. I'm very excited because I got to get out of this fuck ass country.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm keeping that one in.
The week was whatever.
Yeah, y'all, you know, again, the week was weeking. But y'all, I got glasses. I got 2 pairs of glasses. They finally came in, you know, your girl had to go ahead and take her coins over to Le Costco. And
Yeah, no,
do
Tiffany got a
good.
strong prescription.
Listen, not too fucking match.
The eyes is magnified.
Well, I thought they were a lot better than my old
ones is crazy.
The old ones, I look like a chipmunk. And my parents sat there and lied to me and let me look like a Bug's Life for years. So you know what? We're done. But yeah, so I got some glasses, y'all. What else is going on? Well, TikTok is in the process of getting banned, but we're gonna
touch on that. We're gonna touch on that.
Love is Blind has finished, so now I'm trying to find new TV to catch up on Real Housewives of
You
any
should
franchise.
actually
It's not really doing it
watch
for me.
Desperate Housewives.
Oh.
I'm currently on season 1, episode 13, and it is juice.
Well, you know what? I do want to go back and actually watch Mob Wives. Like, I think I had mentioned that in the early...
texted me and said they were watching that now. Somebody texted me and said they were watching that right now. And I was like, you're in for a motherfucking treat. Mm-hmm. I was like, Mob Wives? Yeah.
Crazy word.
They were really about that life.
They were.
They were really about that life.
They're ghetto bitches. Like,
Yes, no, very
much ghetto. Honestly, my kind of girl. No. My kind of woman.
Yeah, my kind of woman. My kind of woman.
But yeah, y'all, so that's what's going on with me. But, you know, we have a lot that we want to discuss.
We got a lot to get to.
And so let's just go ahead and get into the polls.
So let's start with what everybody's current reality show of choice right now.
Ooh, L.I.B.?
Love is not blind.
Okay. Is she blurry?
I don't even think she's that. I think Love needs 2020. But
She needs glasses.
I think Love has red flags, and I do think Love is deaf.
Ooh, not me. Sorry about that, y'all. You know, one day...
Love has alarms, and they should have listened, but they did not.
One day I'm going to not interrupt the podcast with an alarm, so I apologize.
Love needs to be interrupted, because some of them...
Ooh.
AD all day.
Well, let's
all
go
day.
ahead and get into the analysis. Honestly, it's going to be very quick and concise because you can go watch this on your own time, but I would like to just discuss my notes. Starting from the top, everything that I'm saying is in order. So First and foremost, Laura gathered Sarah Ann and Jeremy, and you know the way that they spell Jeremy is giving Jeremy, but you know what? That's not my business. But anyways, she gathered Sarah Ann and Jeremy like a fucking ponytail.
All the way from Barcelona.
Gave them some edges at that too. Okay, gripped up that head, got Mazzani oil on the forehead. All right. That's how much
eight edges was braided so tight, and then Laura just came and scalped them hoes.
Okay, so shout out to Laura because she did her big one, and no tea, no shade, Sarah and Jeremy, they needed to be checked, and I'm glad that they did apologize because that situation was very messy. I think
the apology was the apology was very much like. It was very underhanded. Like, y'all apologized because y'all were on TV and y'all were sitting in this little room right now and it was like a whatever. Mm-hmm. But that meant nothing to me. It obviously meant nothing to Laura because, like, y'all sitting over here looking like a couple of fucking birds.
What did she call him? Did she call him Raggedy? I can't remember now.
She ate him up. I can't remember what she called him, but she ate him up. Rightfully so. So, yeah. So, there's that couple, that triangle of a couple. Okay. Us seeing that unreleased footage, though, of a side conversation that Laura had with Sarah Ann, and basically like Laura was putting on Sarah Ann to like how Jeremy completely flipped a switch when he got about them pods, and Sarah Ann sat there and nodded in her face and was like acted like she was being a girl's girl, and then for her to sit there and still pursue him. Yeah. Well, this is my issue with Netflix. I don't think Netflix is built to edit reality TV. Correct. Because we 100% should have saw that conversation in season. Wait! Also, reality TV is not meant to be 10 episodes. We need more because they were fully in the reunion. Minimum. Bringing up stuff that is just kind of like, they're showing us shit that we should have seen in the regular season. This should not be news to us. Exactly. So Netflix, I don't know if they need to hire editors that worked at Bravo. I don't know. Bravo be slipping up too, though. But in its prime, Bravo was good. Mm-hmm. And Bravo still be hitting where it needs to. Not as of recent, but the majority of the time they hit where they need to. Mm-hmm. But I do think that Netflix needs to prioritize. Like, they need to start using the flashback. Yeah. Yeah. The flashback is pivotal. Well, they critical. They did go back, but they were unreleased footage. But they did in the reunion. They need to do like that in season. I don't like that. If you are on episode 4 and you're talking about something somebody said in episode 1, flashback. Right. Immediately. They didn't do that. Because now we got to go do our own flashback. We got to be on TikTok and do a stitch here, stitch there, do it here, do it there. Y'all like the ridiculous. We need intro the flashback. I watch too much reality TV, so maybe they need to put me in the room. I don't know. Right. Maybe they need to consult me on how to edit that, but we gotta continue on. Okay, but I just have to say. That's why we continue on. Right, they done hit a nerve. The fits. I'm not gonna say anything, but what the fuck did Trevor have on? Wreck-It Ralph. I can't unsee it. They had him in his best bank analyst workwear. Clothes were a little too big for him. He just looked a little stressed. Can I leave? Yes, go ahead. The door is right there. It was giving very much like you was going to your family backyard barbecue. Not in that outfit. They clown you. The bare bones should have been a suit and tie. What is going? Who is the stylist? You don't have one. Trevor is the stylist. Also, too. So basically, Trevor decided to share a text message between him and the girl that he... No. Trevor didn't share it. Nick and Vanessa. Well, how would they get access to it if it wasn't? She gave it to them. The ex-girlfriend. Shorty. Yes. The ex-girlfriend. Fact check me quick. According to Trevor, that's not his girlfriend. But the woman in question turned over all the documents. Right. The receipts. And Trevor was in that hoe sweating. But yeah, basically the text messages revealed that Trevor sat there and said, "I love you" to her before they ran up in them pods. All I will say is they hit Trevor with some reality TV light work. And the way he folded, I said, baby, this ain't for you. You need to stay on stage right now. This ain't for you. Because they didn't even hit him with nothing crazy. They just read the text and he's... Yeah, let's time to... Next, Trevor. Honestly, Chelsea dodged a bullet. Okay, well, let's continue on. No.
You don't think Chelsea dodged a bullet with Trevor?
She got hit with another one with Jimmy. But
yes,
Chelsea, but here's the thing. Chelsea is the bullet.
Jimmy.
Chelsea is the bullet.
In that POV, yes, but could you imagine, like, my whole thing is, Trevor says he would have went with Chelsea. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all.
I think for the sake of getting some show clout, I think he would have.
I think he would have continued it with the both of them.
Oh, yes.
That's
but
what
I
I'm
think,
saying.
yes. But I think he would have fully played Chelsea.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jimmy, at least, he had many come-to moments, but his main come-to moment when he did end it, he knew he had to end it. I don't know if Trevor would have been able to do... he's just... that you can't go into a show knowing good and well that you had a whole person on the outside that you, quote-unquote, loved.
Well, they were just so toxic, and that was not his girlfriend. She just was in there. They were so
I don't
toxic.
care. I don't need the label. You said I love her. You said I love her to somebody weeks before you went in to go get married.
That's not your nigga.
Make it make sense. Anyways,
that's not your nigga.
Chelsea, I thought during the reunion was very laid back. I feel like there also too was this glowing confidence of her in a way. Can I finish?
Okay.
I felt like she really held herself. Like, I thought she was gonna have many breakdown moments during this reunion, and I was kind of underwhelmed by her reaction to things. And I think, honestly, because she's come to TikTok about it, and we've talked about it here, she's clearly been in therapy. Because there ain't no way she sat up there after this season and everything people have dragged her on the internet, and she did not say literally nothing. The only thing she really said was clocking Jimmy for saying that she doesn't hang out with her ex-boyfriend, which, girl, if you want to keep pushing that lie, fine.
That agenda.
But to me, if you calling somebody the minute you get out the pods and that's the person you call was your ex-boyfriend, but you don't hang out with him, you can hang out with him through the FaceTime. It's still hanging out. I don't care.
I will say about Chelsea, while she held herself well.
She did. I'm proud of her.
I do think when Jimmy started to talk about Jess, you could see her get a little pressed.
I mean, but any woman would.
Yes, but the way that Chelsea and Jess were talking about their friendship, and Jessica's daughter calls Chelsea her aunt, and all of this and all of that. I thought, I don't know, I think there is a little resentment there.
Animosity.
Yes, animosity. I think that is the better word, but
okay.
Whatever. But we can move forward.
Yeah. AD went on 2 dates with Matthew.
Pick Misha.
This was not on my bingo card. I honestly thought when Matt left and walked out that door, that was the last time we would ever hear of him and they would ever hear from him. They somehow reached out and reconnected, right? As much as Clay sat there and said he knew about it, it looked like news to him.
Clay did not know. I think he was trying to save face.
Yeah.
I think going on the first date would be fine, but I feel like if I saw how Matt was acting in person off rip, I personally would not give him a second date. Maybe he acted differently. I don't know.
That's what it's giving.
We don't know, but...
Well, he was very apologetic, so that first date wasn't even really...
That's what she say.
Right, but going in the words of AD, because he was so apologetic, that first date technically wasn't even really a first date. It was just him apologizing to her.
And I think they went on more than 2, because the way she alluded to it seemed, she was like, yeah, we went on 2, 3, 2. And I was like, I was like, you've tried to just tell how many y'all went on.
He cooked her chicken and rice.
Yeah, it was chicken and rice.
It's the effort that counts. No, let me stop.
Did he put it in the air fryer? And did he put it in the oven? Did he put it in the oven?
Listen, I put it in the air fryer. Clay is in therapy. And you know what?
Is it working?
Cannot confirm nor deny. But what I will say is I am proud of him because we've already discussed this. He needed therapy so bad. I was begging, yelling at him through the screen, talking about some
heavy
to therapy, please. But what I didn't like is Nick Lachey sat there and asked him, do you think you've been healed? It has been a year. And Clay, you'll never be fully healed. That you are healed in a year, babe. It's okay. You don't need to be healed in a year. It's going to take time. And that's okay. Like,
what I will say about Clay, in therapy or not, I think in seeing him operate at the reunion, basically having to be on your feet, be very quick, Clay seems to me, and this is my interpretation, extremely calculated. Very much like, I came here with set answers, set responses, and this is what you're going to get out of me. Just very much like...
How did you feel about him crying?
I thought that was calculated. Because like, Clay, for you to get up on TV, say what you're saying right now, but it's just kind of like, you posting AD on your Instagram in the last couple weeks was deliberate and calculated. And then AD's getting up here talking about, so you played in my fucking... Like, they're fucking. Allegedly. That is what my belief. That is my belief.
That's your theory.
That is my theory. That is my belief. But I just think, like, all these men have the same script, because I have heard it before. Clay ain't no different. I have heard it before. I just think that confirmation.
They always got something to say. The streets always
confirmation.
Got
the streets is hearing me, and the streets are confirming.
All right.
But I think Clay, to me, seems extremely calculated, and I think AD, like, I hope AD watched the show back and was like, oof, wow, like, this is crazy. Yeah. But I think AD, and they were talking about this on Twitter, parades as Lawrence from Insecure. You're and I'm not going to say a slur, you're a man that thinks he's a good dude, but you're really not, and you're just walking around and running around hurting people under the guise of you're healed. Yes.
Okay, you said AD, that's why I was confused.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say AD, I meant to say Clay. I'm sorry. I meant to say, correction, Clay, sorry.
That's okay.
But just, like, running around thinking you're a good dude when you're really out here hurting people. Yeah. And that's ridiculous. Yeah. And it's not, I mean, obviously we talked about this last week, but he's just very calculated, and I think AD should beware, or any woman that comes into contact with that man should be aware.
And the world is aware. So I don't think anyone at all is turning a blind eye. And, you know, I hope Clay continues on his therapy journey.
And I want to believe he's a good man. I do. But I just be watching him. I just be like, I don't know.
I personally genuinely think that Clay is a good man. But there's just certain things that you have to work out of your system to be able to get to where you need to be and where you want to be. And that's genuinely how I feel about the Clay situation. Now, Chelsea from season 4 is a part of casting. Now,
whoa, wait, before you get to casting, do you think, because I was looking at some of Kwame's body language, do you think Kwame likes Chelsea?
I didn't think he liked her during season 4.
There you have it, folks.
Because there was too much flip-flopping on his end.
I think they both wanted to be married and they didn't care who it was.
No, I think Chelsea actually loves Kwame.
I think she grew to love him. Oh, you think so?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because the only thing that they really had a huge tiff over was her job. And you see now she sat there and left that job for him. She's now in casting for Love is Blind, which I was like, what was her position before to qualify her to be in casting now? Truthfully, I don't know her background, but my issue is, and this is what me and Chandler have talked about in the past, is that the casting, prerequisites.
I tweeted this. You follow me on Twitter, I tweeted this.
Y'all are letting anybody walk through these doors. If you haven't been chronically online, you wouldn't see that Jeremy specifically has a lot of alleged things coming out the woodworks. And it's scary, I hope it's not true, but it's looking believable.
Jeremy is a liar. Jeremy looked like he lied for a living. He should have went to law school.
Them Hawaiian shirts. God bless his heart. Yeah, I think him and Sarah Ann are very paired well. I think it was interesting, though, how Chelsea did clock him and said, well, the past 2 times I've seen you say you and Sarah Ann, because they was up there really trying to put on this, like...
Well, I don't think he likes Sarah Ann. Okay,
so wait. You don't think he likes Sarah? What do you think?
Some of the body language he possessed, and I'm really big on body language.
Yeah.
And then also, she was speaking one of the times, and he told her / mouthed to her to shut up, and it's just like,
oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok again, and I had to watch it, and I rewinded it, and I said, he sure did. But I think he's probably like, honestly, we're only going off what we see on TV.
Right.
And what y'all post on social media.
Right.
But it seems like he probably got cornered into this relationship. and boo now. Because why is also everybody sitting here on this couch saying like y'all done broke up 3-4 times in a year and then y'all chose to live with each other?
Well, that's the thing. That's why that's why everybody in their room sat there looking at them cross-eyed, because they're like, first of all, they don't even rock. Jessica said she took Sarah Ann out the girls group chat. And
I would have took her out too.
And that's tea.
Sarah Ann is not a girl's girl.
She's not. And she knows that. I think at the end of the day, you know, the thing about Love is Blind, I think, is that the way that the show is currently in the state that it is, it's so far gone from how it originally began. Like that first season, that first season
it only would have worked for one season
and crazy.
This is a one season show.
You know, I think where we are now, they have, I don't know, I feel like watching this show, you don't really know who any of these people are.
Nope.
And you know, it's hard to sit here and really even give full opinions because things change every day. Girlfriends pop up.
I think the issue with
people's criminal records pop up.
I think the issue with reality TV allegedly in general now is that everybody is too aware of how they might be perceived.
The NDAs are not tight enough.
Yes, but I think people are too aware of the edit they might get, of how they might be perceived. And this is not just
even being who they really
exactly.
are.
And this is not just a Love is Blind issue. This is a reality TV issue, because it's just kind of like, if you're not gonna come on here, and it's just kind of like, bitch, if you're gonna be the villain, be the villain. And you need to live in villainry, because Kenya Moore is a prime example. If she is a villain,
but she's a fan fave,
and they love to hate her, but she is a fan fave, because if you're gonna be a villain, step in your villainry, and then when it's time to sit there for your whatever it's fucking called at the reunion and take your lashings, you need to take it with pride and to be able to defend yourself. Because when Kenya Moore sat at those reunions and it was her against the cast, she held her own. And a lot of y'all cannot do that, and that is the problem.
There's some people who are truthfully built for reality TV, but
a lot of people are not, and I think that y'all need to know that before you come on these shows. And I think a lot of people are not, but it's also just kind of like, you can't compare shows like Love Island to Real Housewives.
Gosh, no.
Because
we talked about this, the degrees.
Yes. Love is Blind, Love Island, whatever. These are low tier reality shows. Mid tier, I would say mid tier. Low tier is Zeus.
Also, too, when you have the reunion ending with Nick Lachey talking about who's going to be on The Perfect Match, this is so unserious, y'all. We get it. You want to continue this franchise of shows, but it's very clear that y'all are bringing on characters and not real people. Hey.
Well, they know people are going to tune in anyway. But I think it needs a tweak. I think the reunion was good. It could have been better. I think it started
been so much better.
It started so strong and ended so poorly. Because why are we spending 30 minutes on Sarah Ann and Jeremy?
Not that, but why are we spending so much time on couples from past seasons?
Oh, thank you. I did not give a fuck.
I didn't care about that. I rewatched it this morning for work, and I literally had to skip past those portions because I was like, this has nothing to do with why I'm here or why anyone's here. Anyways.
How do y'all feel about the reunion?
Live studio audience?
Boo, tomato.
I can't.
Today we have the co-host of Aunties in Training podcast, Kayleigh Silver.
Plus
and
Joya.
then we have Miss Joya Tucker of Bioma.
Literally.
Tanologist, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Of Tanologist. I'm sorry.
Weak.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I actually haven't tuned into the reunion yet, but I've seen
spoiling
a lot of
it.
TikToks, and it's fine. And I feel like I heard it was about the other couples a lot.
It was too much of the other couples. I agree.
You didn't. All right, but let's go ahead and get into our next pop culture story.
So, first and foremost, we're going to slip our viral clip of the week right here. We have TikTok CEO, Mr. Shou Chu, and let's see what he had to say. So let's take a look.
Hi everyone, it's Shou here. Just wanted to share some thoughts with our US users about the disappointing vote in the House of Representatives. There has been a lot of misinformation, and I hope to clarify some things. First, Thank you to our incredible community. You are what makes TikTok so special. Thank you for making your voices heard. Over the last few years, we have invested to keep your data safe and our platform free from outside manipulation. We have committed that we will continue to do so. This legislation, if signed into law, will lead to a ban of TikTok in the United States. Even the bill sponsors admit that that's their goal. This bill gives more power to a handful of other social media companies. It will also take billions of dollars out of the pockets of creators and small businesses. It will put more than 300,000 American jobs at risk, and it will take away your TikTok. We know how important TikTok is to all of you. It has given our 170 million users a platform to freely express themselves and has empowered more than 7 million businesses in the United States. Our platform matters to the small business owners who rely on TikTok to make ends meet, to the teachers who inspire millions of students to learn, and to everyone who discovers and finds joy on TikTok. We will not stop fighting and advocating for you. We will continue to do all we can, including exercising our legal rights, to protect this amazing platform that we have built with you. We believe we can overcome this together. I encourage you to keep sharing your stories. Share them with your friends. Share them with your family. Share them with your senators. Protect your constitutional rights. Make your voices heard. Love you all.
So, if you are chronically online, you have been hearing about the TikTok ban, also known as the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. The goal of this bill is to force the Chinese parent company ByteDance to divest from the app to quote unquote save 170 million American users from their data being sold.
That app being TikTok.
Owned by ByteDance. The divesting would consist of ByteDance selling their shares of the app to an American-owned company. If this bill makes it through the Senate, it would be the first time any congressional bill would outlaw an internet app. This bill made it through the House. I want to let y'all know the House be passing a lot, so that honestly means nothing to me right now. But it made it through the House with a vote of 352 to 65. So
which
that
is
means
concerning.
Republicans, Democrats are all on the same team
together
right now.
On this one.
Because I have never seen these people unanimous on an issue.
On this particular topic. I wonder why. But let's continue.
So here are a couple hot facts you should be aware of before we get into the conversation of the TikTok ban. If this bill goes through the Senate, because it has to go through the Senate, TikTok and ByteDance would have 180 days to comply with the selling of the shares that ByteDance owns of TikTok. If they do not, on day 181, the bill would effectively ban TikTok and it would be unable to access with any American server. Now, with this now added, if the bill were to go through the Senate, it is now saying that any American user that uses a VPN to get on TikTok would be fined a hefty amount and would have to serve a minimum of 20 years in prison. Okay. Biden now says if the bill reaches his desk, he will sign it. But it's good to note that in 2022, Biden signed a measure into place that banned TikTok on all government phones and devices. If this is signed into law, this legislation will most likely and probably 100% face legal challenges on an international level and from ByteDance and TikTok itself because the U.S. is overstepping. Because how is the U.S. able to tell a foreign country that they have to do something with their business?
It's called audacity.
So who has given the United States government, because if they don't have nothing, they have some motherfucking audacity, nerve to and the authority to make them sell, to make another country sell a product to them. They simply don't have the legal authority, so this will now be an international law issue. Now, this is what I want to note, because this is what has been going around TikTok, what y'all been hearing on Twitter. They are calling TikTok a Chinese company. Let's clear a couple things up right now.
Right.
The CEO of TikTok, Shou Chu, is from Singapore.
Which I'm sure y'all seen that viral clip of him saying he's from Singapore.
He is born in Singapore, lived in Singapore, served in Singapore. He is a citizen of Singapore.
Right.
Never from China. has never lived long-term or become a citizen of China, meaning he is not a part of the Chinese Communist Party.
Ha.
Okay, that is good to know.
Right.
TikTok is owned by a company that is based in China, but the company itself is not a Chinese company because it has been incorporated in the Cayman Islands.
Right.
TikTok was also incorporated in the Cayman Islands. The only thing is that ByteDance has their HQ in China, but like that's normal because a lot of companies have their HQ and there are some offices in China. So that is not alarming to me.
Right.
And the HQ of TikTok is in Singapore, but they also do have offices in China because international companies have offices everywhere.
Yes.
With all of this coming into play, so China, if they wanted to, because a lot of people are saying, a lot of congressmen and congressional officials are now saying that, oh, we want to ban TikTok because we don't want China to come knocking on our doorstep and affecting the algorithm and basically doing what you see, The thing with that is China could attempt to enforce legal power over TikTok, but what do you think the United States is doing right now? The United States is attempting to enforce legal power over TikTok.
Yes,
so
that's exactly what
if China wanted to take action or do whatever over TikTok, it would have to go through the same way the US is doing it right now. So we would know if China wanted to come through and take over the algorithm or whatever the case is. So I personally believe at this point in time, while the government is framing this as a data and a data breach issue because they're framing it as this Chinese-owned company is taking your data, is selling it, and now they are tailoring what you see on your For You page, I would like to mention AT&T, Meta, and numerous US-based and US-owned companies have been caught for selling American citizens' data. Mm-hmm. This, to me, is not about data. It is repackaged censorship. Oh, yeah. And they're telling you it's about data, but I am believing this is simply censorship. Now, a couple things before we pull this into we say our piece. I do think that TikTok will be fine, but I think this is a warning for everybody about what's to come about censorship, regardless of party, Democrat or Republican, because everybody is standing together on this. I think that everybody should be extremely concerned. I also think the banning of TikTok would result in an economic domino effect so large that they would have to do nothing but reinstate this bill. Let me tell you why. 7 million, and this has come from TikTok itself, over 7 million small businesses operate off TikTok. They keep their doors open because of TikTok. So many regular American people have made money off of TikTok. So people's lives have truly been changed off of TikTok. The economic domino effect of this would be so massive that I think we would see Great Depression levels type of recession, and you do not need a PhD in economics to know that. And the Senate also knows that because Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Party leader, has said that now they're crunching numbers and it's not looking like this is going to go through because so much money is going to be lost in tax revenue, we can't afford it. But I think what has fully happened is that they saw this app giving so much information to people and they saw people mobilizing off this app, Free Palestine, that they said, oh, we need to be concerned. All this is, it's not about data because these companies in our own backyard are selling our data and y'all can look that up.
Do you know how many times I get a notification from Google that my data
password
has been
leaked, data leaked, breached, dark web? It's out there. Apple has our Face ID. It's out there. You think I'm concerned about TikTok?
Because I ain't never gave it to them, but you know.
Face ID on your phone?
I didn't do it.
Oh, I did.
I didn't do it.
I did. I'm sorry. I did it for convenience.
I'm pushing back.
But I'm just saying, like, this is censorship, and we need to be aware that this is censorship. And I think TikTok, TikTok will not sell because all it's gonna happen
that would be stupid.
It would be they would not sell it.
Yeah, that'd be
but
insane.
I don't think it's gonna. If it goes through the Senate, the legal action would be ridiculous.
They are a worldwide social media app. They don't give a fuck about America.
Exactly.
I have a couple things I'd like to say, and I have a lot of notes here, so we're gonna get through them real quick. The thing about American government, America on its foundation since the beginning of time, what are they known for doing and what they love to do?
Colonization.
That, but pushing propaganda. I think the real issue, and Chandler already has touched upon it, is that TikTok is one of the current greatest threats to the American government.
Oh, while you're saying that, I would like to interject this little note. TikTok is the only media platform because it now said that everybody below millennials, so like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, we get all of our news off TikTok. It is the only non-US American government regulated media platform.
That's true.
And they want to have their hand in it.
Of course.
Propaganda.
Of course.
They want to have their hand in it.
So I think the real issue here is that, like said, TikTok is one of the current greatest threats to American government in its structure.
And capitalism.
Structure, yes. So TikTok alone has allowed us to see raw content of what is going on beyond our four walls. We haven't seen this in other social media apps, may I add. In the same way, because of the way that TikTok is designed with the For You page, but also too with the SEO engine, you can sit there and as you're scrolling, you'll see that a video will go in under an SEO phrase. You can click that phrase and go down a whole hole of information that you never even knew. You never knew you were not prepared to see, right?
And these are also fully things that it's like, I will call my friends, studio audience. I will call them in there and be like, did y'all see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? The information being dispersed on this
TikTok is unreal.
I never thought TikTok, in 2020, in the pandemic, when they was on this app dancing and shaking their hips and shaking it and hitting them folks and da-da-da, I never thought it would become at all. I'm happy to where it's come. Now, I got things to say about the algorithm. That's beside the point. But I have
come so far from Musically.
I have met so many people. I've learned so much on TikTok.
Yes.
That's
what a lot of people are bringing up. They've learned so much on TikTok. The taking
away of this app would be so detrimental. The American people would be so
brainwashed,
deeply uninformed, and brainwashed, which is what they want.
Exactly.
Would be so deeply uninformed that it's harmful. Like, this is violent.
Exactly.
It's like, honestly, this is violent. It's violent.
Also, too, what Chandler touched on earlier, TikTok has a different level of gathering community, right? People come together on TikTok alone. For example, President Biden, he ran off of a huge part of his campaign saying he was going to cancel student loans. He pushed it back several times.
Yeah, no, he ain't.
But at some point, and it was never going to happen because the way that our government is structured, right? It's beyond him, truthfully. But when he failed to cancel student loan debt, on the first payment that we were all supposed to make, now, I'm not going to sit here and say who didn't pay it and who did. But 9 million people protested by not paying
I don't think it was a protest. I think people just didn't have the money.
Yes, but also, too, why I call it a protest is because people were actively creating videos on let's not pay whether you got it or not.
But also, a lot of folks didn't have it.
But my point of why I'm bringing this up is because that started off on TikTok specifically, okay? So knowing that, you have to understand how huge of an impact that is. 9 million people did not pay their student loans first payment. And then you started to see videos. I remember I saw this one video about this guy who was breaking down the stock market to the everyday person who doesn't really know how the stock market works. And he was talking about how if we all buy a share into Sallie Mae and then try to sell it, the way that it would plummet.
Short the stock,
that company. Listen, he said, you didn't hear it from me.
That's just what they were saying on TikTok.
Right.
Allegedly.
I don't even know what I just said, but hey. Anyways, there are creators who are not experts and not journalists, but have found a platform on this particular app to reveal in real time information and expose the U.S. government on a multitude of things. For example, how the U.S. has had their hands in Gaza and
Clock
many
it.
other places. Okay,
Clock it.
The government
Clock
can no
it.
longer hide these very controversial and disgusting atrocities that they've been had their hands in. And I think 2023 was a very enlightening year.
Yeah, that was the year for real.
It really was the year.
That was the year.
Y'all thought 2020
Especially
was
the
enlightening?
back half. 2023 was really the year.
You thought 2020 was enlightening, babes? 2023 was exposed us to a minimum of 3 fucking genocides.
I think what happened was in 2020, we were seeing the Black Lives Matter movement happen on TV. So it was still filtered. And it's like, while we had TikTok, I think people were kind of going like, well, what type of app is it? Like, is it just musically
but TikTok
reloaded?
wasn't at a conscious
exactly.
state
It wasn't
of
there
mind,
yet.
Whereas
now,
it has evolved to such.
I'm seeing people being starved in Gaza.
Exactly.
I'm seeing people living in huts in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I am seeing with my eyes most things are happening. Not only am I seeing it, they're on TikTok live, showing us what's going on.
Yeah,
we can't dispute
that.
You cannot ignore that. You can't ignore that.
And the thing is that the American media has such a great mask of what information needs to be distributed and what doesn't need to be distributed. Because the thing is, the government likes to say, we don't want our people to know too much because then the world might erupt and come to an end. No, you don't want us to know too much because then we will be able to gather as a people and realize, to be very frank with you, this whole thing of political parties, a lot of people don't realize.
Same coin.
A lot of people don't realize that as much as we do have different views, we have a lot of common interests. And the government does not want bringing people of very different views and values to come together and be like, oh, we actually do want our kids to go to school and get an education and come home and not worried about getting shot. We actually do want to be able to afford groceries to put on the table. We actually do want to make our rent payments on time and afford our mortgages.
And we don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck.
And we do want a good and free healthcare universal system.
But I also say, what I will say, capitalism and the U.S. government thrives off of individualism.
Oh, yeah.
The first step at literally exceeding all this is community. And this is what, oh my God, I say this on TikTok. I say it in my everyday life. I say community, honestly, would cure everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean that seriously. When it comes to bring back bartering, bring back like helping out your neighbor, just little stuff like that would help allegedly take the system down. You know, like it's just kind of like all these little things. And I think what's happening with TikTok is the U.S. government is seeing that how powerful it is, but also, I don't know you from Adam nor Eve, but I saw a heartwarming video of you and I decided to donate $5 and a million other people decided to donate $5 and we took you out of poverty.
Do you know how many people?
$5!
How many people? This one girl, and I saw her video, she was talking about she said, I'm just coming up on here, y'all, because I cannot afford my rent for the next 2 months. But I saw so-and-so, another influencer on the app. She came on live and she was expressing her story about her student loan debt.
And they got on TikTok Live?
Yes.
And paid it.
Sent roses to
and they
them,
paid it.
And
I saw that.
Debt cleared.
The debt was clear.
The way that...
But it's also like...
Go ahead.
I didn't give you $10,000. It's like,
no,
I gave $1. I gave maybe at max $20.
When you come together as a community, do you understand how dangerous and how threatening that is to the U.S. government? They cannot afford that. They can't afford that.
Well.
God forbid, right? The TikTok ban does come true, does go into an effect. If you are an influencer, if you are a small business, first of all, if you're watching this right now, start getting your content on Instagram, start getting your content
IG Reels finna be
on
jumping.
YouTube, start getting your business on Etsy, Amazon storefront, whatever you got to do. Start pivoting now, because I'm going to be very honest with you. As much as we want to sit here and say, oh, this isn't going to happen, and we all want to believe that, it very well could happen. And I'll be very honest with you. You remember what happened to Vine. Y'all remember what happened to Vine. right?
And
Cole
the
and
folks
Vine
had
to
to
this
pivot
day.
quickly, and a
But
lot of people did not
Viners
make it off
had
of Vine.
to get onto YouTube.
Yep.
But a lot of people died on that app. Not died in real life,
but
their careers
didn't make it
died
off.
off of that app. Okay? And so I need y'all to understand as creators, if you want to be able to continue this brand that you have, you want to be able to continue this small business that you have to get creative on a different level, and you have to start pushing your content somewhere else. You got to start now. Don't wait till the bill gets passed. Start now.
And on the other end of that, content creator, influencer aside, get informed. And get informed with unbiased news outlets. This includes right wing and left wing. Y'all need to read Associated Press. Y'all need to read Reuters. Y'all need to read BBC. Like, y'all need to read unbiased news. Y'all also need to go looking for news that is not being reported by CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all that. Yeah. Because what's going to happen now, I don't think ByteDance is going to sell. They shouldn't sell.
They shouldn't.
I also think it's not going to go through the Senate. But
in the case that it does.
But even if it doesn't, this is just like a lesson in get informed, and you need to get in. You need to have a game plan. Yeah. If this passes, it is no telling what is next.
To see the way that the House of Representatives came together on one singular issue like this, we can't get a Voting Rights Act passed. We can't get a George Floyd bill passed.
Can't get Roe v. Wade coded.
Right. Reenacted immediately, please. We are too worried about being so divisive and not coming together on issues that really...
But honestly, forget that.
Really?
Groceries are so expensive. A pack of cheese is almost shredded cheese. No name brand. This is store brand. Almost $7.
That's insane.
Oat milk
is $8 right now.
$6
in New York.
Meat $9.
That's insane.
It's insane where it's cheaper to eat out.
And that's a different conversation. We don't need to have that right now.
You know, we're not going to have it right now, but it is cheaper to eat out.
It currently is, which is terrifying to think of. But hey, let's move on because we're going
to move on.
Let's go ahead and get into the speed round of pop culture.
Yes, these are our hot one-liners and call-outs in pop culture. Congratulations to Divine Joy Randolph on not only her Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in The Holdovers, but her clean sweep for this award season. I love her.
Her beautiful speech.
Her speech, her dress. I think she's gorgeous. I love her.
She had a Cinderella moment.
I love her bad. Cash Doll is pregnant. Congratulations.
I love Cash Doll.
Vanessa Hudgens is pregnant.
Period, Gabriella.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I say what I'm about to say next, I would like for y'all to pray for me at this time. And I come to y'all with a heavy heart to say that Starz has officially canceled Power Book 2, Ghost, and Season 4 will be the last season of that show. Please think about me and pray for me during this troubled time. I don't know how I'm going to get through this.
Girl.
It's very hard for me right now.
Why is your voice weak?
Because I'm really upset about this.
Listen.
I'm really upset about that. Like, I'm really upset.
And you have every right to be upset about that. But don't ever scare me like that again. I thought you was about to say some crazy shit.
This is crazy shit. Please pray for me at this time.
It is. Black shows are getting canceled left and right. But hey.
Getting canceled left and right. I just hope 50 Cent does his big one. Starz, again, they back in the news again, has greenlit a Power prequel.
Okay.
Origin, which will go through the life of Tommy and Ghost as a children. BMF, Black Mafia Family, is back and it's better. Please tap in if you haven't. We're back for a season 3. I have tapped in. It's good. I love me a good BMF.
Love BMF.
Micah, Jesse, and Izzy from Love is Blind will be on the new season of A Perfect Match. And Meghan Markle is dropping a surprise project which has been interpreted as a new lifestyle brand called American Riviera Orchard, but it has not been revealed what exactly it is yet. But the Instagram page has been made. I think it's giving lifestyle. I think it's either gonna be, because of Orchard, I'm thinking wine, maybe some type of
they do like gardening,
vineyard,
that through their docu-series that came out on Netflix.
I'm thinking like some type of like athletic like workout clothing.
It's giving Family Line, as in a way of like the way that Tabitha Brown has brought like food. She's brought dishware. She's brought different type, lifestyle brand at Target. That's clothes.
Yeah, it's giving that. It's honestly giving that. Like yoga pants.
Right. I can see a lot of people buying from that.
People like Meghan Markle. I like Meghan Markle. Yeah, I like her. I have no issue with her.
Not too much on good sister and Meghan Markle.
Yeah, not at all.
Okay? I don't care what, as much as the British media tries to slander her, I just think because of the fact that she is a black woman, that they come at her at every ounce that they can. But I fuck with the Meghan Markles, and there will be no Meghan Markle slander tolerated here, nor no baby Archie slander tolerated here, okay? Thank you.
Period. Okay, so now let's get into our TikTok news. Today we're talking about Ren, Jacqueline, and the unethicalness of putting your child on social media.
Could we talk about who Ren and Jacqueline is?
I'm going to get into it.
Okay.
I'm going to get into it. So before I start everything I'm about to say, I would encourage everybody to read 2 articles. One is What's the Price of a Childhood Turned into Content? That's by Cosmopolitan. And the second one is A Marketplace of Girl Influencers Managed by Moms and Stalked by Men by the New York Times. So if you are unaware, Ren is a child influencer that's about 3 or 4, and her mother is Jacqueline. But let's start with some backup information. Right. This week in TikTok news, we're talking about putting your children on social media, and I mean your little children, and using their face and likeness for brand deals and money. The New York Times, Cosmopolitan, and other major media outlets have been talking about the ethicality of this and how this type of content and this type of influencership is extremely unregulated. While this conversation is not new, it became super mainstream with the Reddit post that went viral a few years ago about how a teenager who was a part of a family blogger and mommy vlogger family was looking to emancipate from her parents due to her life being completely broadcasted on YouTube, her parents making money off her likeness, and her not receiving a dime of it. And if you read this New York Times article, they talk about this. In a study done by Meta, who is the owner of Instagram, found over 500,000 child influencer accounts on Instagram that had quote unquote inappropriate interactions every single day.
That's scary.
500 accounts, inappropriate
just
interactions. 500,000 accounts, inappropriate interactions every single day. Now, the reporters and the team at the New York Times built and created a software to help them start to separate and figure out this child influencer content. Okay. What it does is classify how suggestive photos are, and then it has this software, which is basically kind of AI describe what this content looks like. A majority of this content was classified as quote unquote racy. The New York Times also said the majority of followers for all these accounts were majority men. So of around 5,000 child influencer accounts, 32 million followers were men.
I'm not surprised. I'm
not surprised either, but when you see those numbers written out,
it's terrifying.
That is terrifying. Yeah. In this New York Times article, a lot of these children have grown up from being young girls in these situations. They have described their situation as scarring, unsettling, and a good number are looking to, violated as well, and are looking to take legal action against their parents or trying to figure out how to proceed forward after going through this traumatizing thing after being 10. Right. And their mothers and their fathers are making them take pictures in bikinis and just this lewd and crude and suggestive type of photography and content. Yeah. Now, so the newest mommy and daughter bloggers, they're not very new, but it's this conversation has been talking about it.
17 million.
They have Ren is a 3-year-old little girl, 3 or 4-year-old little girl. Her mother's name is Jacqueline. Ren has 17 million followers on TikTok alone, and has over TikTok alone, and has over 620 million likes on TikTok alone.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
The page is run by her mother. But here's the kicker. While the content to the naive or regular eye may seem harmless, her mother posts her in ways that can be interpreted as suggestive. And the comments on Ren's page or of this and other little girls like her are grown men commenting heart eyes, making lewd and crude statements about her body, and just being overall pedophilic behavior is what I would say. Also, allegedly, and I want to say allegedly, Ren's mother, Jacqueline, is posting this content of Ren, and other mommy bloggers like her are taking photos of their child and taking content of them that some could say would be pandering to pedophiles. This is the exact type of content that they looked for. Now, Ren's mother, Jacqueline, did an entire video. Now, this video came out a couple years ago, but it's just resurfaced on TikTok. Did an entire video saying that she has been speaking to the FBI. The FBI said that none of Ren's videos have popped up on the dark web. Now, what I interpret that as is your content has pandered so well to pedophiles, allegedly, that they don't have to put it on the dark web, that they can just come to TikTok and see what they need to see.
Exactly.
Now, there is another creator that goes by the name of Becca Day. She is not a mommy vlogger or an influencer, but she did a deep dive into Ren and her mother, and she talked about Ren and basically went to a couple of Ren fan pages on Instagram and found that a majority of Ren's followers are grown men. She went to now some of the grown men's pages, and all these grown men are following other child pages alike.
That's terrifying.
So y'all are very aware of who your
target
audience is, who you're panning to, and it's crazy. But what I will say is in 2023, the family and mommy blogger industry was valued at $23 billion, according to Cosmopolitan. Tiff, how do you feel about these types of accounts? What type of regulation do you think that they need? Or are you completely against it? Because what I will say is, after hearing this, if I do have children, I probably won't. I would never, ever post my child on Instagram. Even a harmless family photo, I just would never want something to end up in the hands of the wrong person. And while you could be talking to the FBI, whatever, saying it's not on the dark web, your first job as a parent is to protect your child. And I just think whether she's making lewd or crude or suggestive content of her child in any way, I don't think your child's likeness should be used at all.
Right. Now, mind you, when I started posting on the internet, I technically was a child. I was 15 years old.
15 versus 4?
Right. And I'm not comparing the two. But what I'm saying is a lot of these children are online. Now, I think there's a very huge difference of using your child as a way for you to make money on the internet versus your child exploring the internet, posting whatever it is that they post under the guise of parental supervision.
Right.
So let's just say that's the difference, I think, between like family, mommy vloggers versus like just kids on the internet. Now, I think whenever, it comes into question on, how these children are having to be performative, that's where lines I feel like really get crossed and things can easily get blurred. And so for me personally, I probably will share my family on the internet, but it's not going to be in a way to make money.
And I would like to, I guess, clarify that my shtick is with people like Ren and people like other mommy bloggers, where it's just kind of like Jacqueline, yes, where you have mother-daughter pages. I think that is strange.
Right, that's different.
Versus like you have a page and your child happens to be on it. Now, I personally, because this type of thing is so scary to me, I just would never fully show my child's face until you get to a point where you can now consent to being on the page, or you are fully aware. Like a 4-year-old cannot consent to being a page of a TikTok followed by 17 million people. Yeah, she doesn't know. She can't consent to that. And also, her mother, she is going to grow up and fully be traumatized just by the fact that's like, and obviously, and we're not going to post it here because I do believe in protecting this child. Yeah. And I think this child 100% needs to be protected. But you can go on her page and see how this content can get into the wrong hands. Yeah. And how it could be taken as suggestive because her mother is framing it in that way, like posting content covers of this little girl with her legs wide open. Now, obviously, we know it's harmless, but it's like, if you're a pedophile or a sex offender looking for that type of content, you got it.
Right.
Or her eating a hot dog, you know, just doing things that if it falls into the correct hands, they're going to use it for what they need to use it for.
Exactly.
And that is scary.
So personally for me, when it comes to showcasing like outside of myself on social media, I personally, like, I don't even really feel comfortable showing partner. Like, to me, when I find my person and I get married, y'all might get engagement photos. You'll get wedding photos, but y'all might get engagement photos.
I don't even want to do that.
And, right, because I really just want to pull a whole Easter egg and be like, ta-da, I'm married.
But it's also just kind of like, the people that need to know.
Exactly.
The people that need to see, saw.
Right.
And that was it.
Right. I think for me, it's more of just like, I don't see myself sitting here and making my child the focus of anything. And that's where I think it's different when your child is exploring the internet, right? Like me, I started making YouTube videos in my room at 15 years old, but my parents didn't put no camera in front of me and told me to dance monkey dance. Yeah. No, I went on my own and I decided I wanted to make a video, edited it, and put it online. And then my parents
fully did that at 15. And also, your parents were also able to probably like vet YouTube. But that was also, YouTube was very bare bones when we were in 2015.
That's true. There's so much bigger eyes now
very bare bones. It was very much like whatever you typed in was what you got, versus like when you scroll, if you scroll long enough on TikTok, you may get into something else.
Right.
But I think it's scary. I think it's ridiculous. But I also think I want to see in the future what will be the repercussions of doing this to a child.
Yeah.
Because like these people, these parents, y'all need jail because you are deliberately putting your child in harm's way and you're pandering for certain types of people with this certain type of content. Let's get into Girl Let's Talk.
All things beauty and fashion.
All things beauty and fashion.
Okay, so I was doing some research earlier and found out that there is currently an $8 million retail theft ring going on and being investigated. So basically this is a nationwide scandal. But they think, so it started off in California from this couple, primarily the wife being the face, allegedly. The couple is Michelle and Kenneth Mack. So apparently Michelle Mack has her own Amazon marketplace storefront. So she's an Amazon seller, if you will, where basically she had a bunch of stolen goods and was selling them at a discounted rate. Basically, California investigators for quite some time have been watching and looking into what they called the California girls. Who are the California girls, right? Basically, this couple hired women across the nation in over a dozen states, right, to go into stores like Lens Crafters, Macy's, Sephora,
not Lens
Bloomingdale's,
Crafters,
Prada, Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, Sunglass Hut, and approximately 231 Ulta Beauties.
Not the exact number. I'm crying.
Steal. Products, makeup, clothes, retail merchandise, right? So this was going on allegedly for over a decade. So they've been very successful, this California couple. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Finally,
they got them a good coin.
Got clearly enough information to get a warrant, and on December 6, 2023, they raided the house of the Mac, and they found over $300,000 worth of stolen merchandise. And a part of that was 50 designer bags from Prada, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and more.
How did they steal all this?
So basically, what they would do is they would basically hire women, put them in hotels, and basically organize for them to go to these stores.
Oh, do it like Ocean's 8.
And basically Ocean's 8 in real life.
Okay.
But on a level of like, y'all had groups of women in different states stealing things.
Yes. And it was big.
They were hosting basically a whole Amazon. They were basically selling designer, very like things that people wanted, but at a discounted rate.
But they was getting a lick. So when they would steal these things, would they then ship it to California or?
I don't know the intricacies, but their house, the Mack family, their house did have host the merchandise, and they would be selling it.
And they would pick it up. People would go buy it like a garage sale.
No, it was an Amazon storefront, so they would get it through Amazon. Yes, they would get it through Amazon, so you would go on Amazon.
Amazon needs to be regulated.
Needless to say, for them to be doing this for over a decade, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's a different level of, when they say this is a theft ring.
It is a theft ring.
It's a operation. The fact that they've lasted for this long, allegedly, is
it's not alleged.
Because they haven't convicted them.
Okay.
They're in the process of investigating still.
They're going to jail.
But this is the information that has been brought to us by California law enforcement.
I don't really have anything to say. I think that is insane. The fact that it's one thing to operate a theft ring, but to be operating so out and open in the public, and the fact that y'all were able to sell your stuff off an Amazon storefront is nuts.
It is.
Yeah, I got nothing to say.
Sound like y'all hit a lick.
Yeah, sound like they hit a lick.
So let's get into the fashion fodder.
Let's get into some fashion fodder. Chan&Tiff released her first cover and issue as the editor-in-chief of British Vogue after the departure of Edward Enninful.
Shout out to Edward Enninful.
And FKA Twigs graced the cover.
Okay.
Looking beautiful. British Vogue is the elite Vogue magazine. Oh, I didn't say that. Allegedly. But
not allegedly.
FKA Twigs is on there looking gorgeous and beautiful, and I am excited for this new era of British Vogue post Edward Enninful. I think it's gonna be good. Stepping out to that, also will say a lot of people looked amazing at the Oscars this past week.
They did.
They looked amazing.
Lupita
Zendaya, Lupita, Coleman Domingo, Divine Joy Randolph.
Yes.
Ariana Grande. How'd you feel about her album?
I haven't fully listened to it. I have listened to the rendition of
Out of 10
is mine.
I can't hypnotize.
Was she not in the studio singing like that?
No.
I do need to listen to the Eternal Sunshine.
It is so good. The music videos.
That dress though at the Oscars.
I loved it.
Listen, if I'm going to an award show, that's how I want to dress.
She looks so good.
That dress, she looked good, but
did you see her glam bot video? She did.
I saw Monet's glam bot video. Monet McMichaels.
Shout out Miss Monette.
But Ariana, that dress, girl. If I'm a, when y'all see me on the red carpet, not no if, fuck. When y'all see me on the red carpet, just know I'm a dress. Not just fucking elegant, but also comfy. Okay, I know Ariana Grande was in there talking about, so let me wrap this here dress around me. It was giving bed comforter, and I was in my bed still watching the Oscars and Kiki with my glass of wine and some snacks with some eye patches on. But also I'm a bad bitch, so I'm here. So you know.
All right, so let's get into the Martini Club. We are not going to read a submission this week, but I would like to talk about Draya
and
of Basketball Wives
and
Jalen Green of the National Basketball Association.
I'm fucking weak.
It has been revealed to us by Draya herself, a grown woman, the age of 40, if I'm not mistaken, is pregnant with Jalen Green's child, who is 22 years old. How do you feel? What are you doing with somebody younger than me?
So what did Jacquees say? 21 with no kids. Oh yeah. So he did make that. This is the thing. Legally. This man just started drinking yesterday.
Today even. Maybe. We don't know.
What are the conversations that y'all are having?
I don't think they're talking about anything. I honestly don't think she cares because she's pining after a check.
There are so many men who are at a bigger age than Jalen is.
But if they're not fucking with her...
No, just hold on. That has a fatter contract. And Draya is a gorgeous girl. There's a lot of men out there in this world who are attracted to Draya. And honestly, I don't know her personally and how she, outside of like what we see on Basketball Wives in the past, right? But there are plenty of options for her.
Oh, of course. But you didn't go after them.
But also
they didn't go after you. So what is that saying?
Sure. But also, we don't know what options went after her, right? But my thing
we do know because this is what you chose.
I don't understand the reason why she is with Jalen?
I think her beautifulness, gorgeousness, whatever does not matter in this moment. I think what matters is the fact that you had the opportunity to go after older men.
And you chose not to.
With the money. And I think the money aspect is also just kind of like crazy because it's just like,
but
girl, you grown as fuck. You still pining after men with money. Okay.
Right. But I don't think money is the factor because he's not making.
Yes, he is. He is. He signed a 4-year contract, $48 million over 4 years.
Right. But Chandler, there's men in the NBA.
But she couldn't get them. That's the thing. $12 million a year. That is a lot of money, Tiffany.
I know that's a lot of money. I'm just saying, I'm trying to understand the reasoning.
Here's the thing.
Also,
when you're 40,
he's so young.
He's so naive. Exactly. But she's not finna stay with him. He also fully said that Draya used to babysit him when he was 12.
Okay, don't tell me no more.
Right.
Don't tell me no more. Don't tell me no more.
Right.
Do not tell me no more.
Right.
Because now we're about to get into the Larsa Pippen of it all.
Right.
Don't tell me no more.
Honestly, I said what I think. That's it. End of story. Period. Phone drop, mic drop. That's it.
But y'all, I think we have officially finished episode 7. The delay, y'all were so scared. I'm fucking weak. But yes, as y'all know, follow us on social media. I'm not gonna spell out my social media anymore. Y'all know where the fuck to find me.
Y'all know, and it's in the caption.
It is. No, it actually is.
Of all platforms.
On YouTube and on, if you just go to the podcast page on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Google Pod.
Yeah. It's what
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Give it to them now.
Twitter.
We ain't got no Facebook.
Discord.
We don't have no Discord.
Reddit.
We don't have that.
Clubhouse.
The one that will be on the Reddit. Clubhouse still exists?
I don't know.
Anyways, put your glass up. Cheers, bitch.
Cheers, bitch.
That
Thank
was a
y'all.
good